Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Can YouTube Teach Me? In this episode, I'm kind of piggybacking off of the first episode where I built my first computer, which was a success. I've been using it ever since. It's right back here. Can't really see it. But in this video, I am using this computer, and along with my laptop here, to make a Hackintosh. So if you don't know what a Hackintosh is, pretty simple. It's a PC that's an Apple, but it's not really an Apple. It's just running Apple's software, their OS. And the only reason why I'm doing this is basically an editing rig. My computer is just for my videos. That's the main reason why I made it. Yes, there are games on there. I do game on it. But the main reason is the processing power of that CPU. I can much better, compared to this little laptop here, much better process my videos, and render times are way better. So I've been using DaVinci Resolve and I've been having constant issues with it. So I was originally just going to do that. I was going to scrap the idea of doing a Hackintosh, but now I really want to do a Hackintosh just so I can get Final Cut, which I did pay for, so I might as well use it, on that computer instead of using my MacBook over here, which is painfully slow. So I am going to be using different videos, hopefully just one video, maybe more. I don't know yet. I haven't done this. So I am going to be using videos on here, and hopefully YouTube can teach me how to make a Hackintosh. I really hope so, because I don't want to brick this computer. So the first video that I'm going to use is TechTunerLife. And thank you to everyone that I am using the videos for to make this process possible. I'm using this video, and the first thing that he says to do is to get a flash drive. This one is 16 gig. Basically, flash drive to download the macOS from a actual Mac computer, download it onto here, so eventually we can get it onto the main computer, the PC. Now, I do like this video because it's pretty much what I have. I have a B450 motherboard, which he says works. I'm guessing that's what he used. I haven't really gone too far into it. But I do have a Ryzen 7 2700, which is the main thing here. And I also have an AMD graphics card, which usually isn't a problem. As long as you have AMD graphics cards, you're totally fine. So let's start on here and get this thing downloaded. Okay, so I followed the steps and I have gotten to the partition part where I've cleared my flash drive up here. He did it on Windows, so I decided, I'm just going to follow along. I'm going to do it on Windows. It's cleaned, it's partitioned, so I'm at that part of the video. Hi, Linus. I'm at that part of the video, so now, so far so good. So now I just need to download all the different things that he has on there, and this is, in my opinion, this is where it gets a little tricky because this stuff changes all the time. So I'm going to follow along and hopefully get to download all the things that he has on here. All right, so I have everything downloaded that he said to download. Pulled it off my download folders, put it on my desktop up here. But the thing is, his looks different on his desktop. Some of the stuff he has open, some of them are actual programs. So I'm going to keep going with the video, and hopefully it's not going to be a problem, because most of the things that he has linked are zip files. Pretty much all of these are zip files. So hopefully this isn't going to confuse me too much, because it's supposed to be a step-by-step. Hopefully, maybe. Okay, so it's looking a little bit better now. All the zip files I had, I extracted, and now it looks a little bit more like what he has. The last one, though, the AMD Vanilla Master, that one, when you actually download it, has this. This is where he brings you. So this one makes a little bit of sense if you actually read through it. 17H is going to be Ryzen. So that's what I'm going to be using. So if I open this up and then I go into 17H, the config, the one that he uses right there, I'm going to draw that out. And I'm guessing that's the one that I need to be using for when I actually do this whole setup. So I'm pretty sure this is good to go now. So I'm going to keep following along, and hopefully, so far so good, everything works out. All right, so for this part of the video, let's see, about 5 minutes in, he's going through and he wants to take out the base system DMG when you go into tools, when you're up here in the boot disk utility. For him, it went straight to it, and for me, I don't know where it was. So I actually followed along on his. If you look at his screen, it's in the new thing that you just downloaded, the install macOS, and then I just followed it along up here to actually get to where he was. So I'm glad that was actually up there, or else I would have never found this. All right, I just finished the last part of the USB bootable thing, getting that last little configure into the Clover file. So hopefully I got everything. Everything went pretty smoothly so far. The only difference I saw was when I did a partition to the flash drive, I had the naming was different. It said like F and G drive, and he only had one name for his, but I did everything exactly the way he did it. So let's continue on. Now I've gotten to the point in the video where I'm booting up. I went through all the options that can possibly be a thing that he said to turn off, enable, disable. All mine were completely fine. I have a different motherboard than he has, but he does have an ASRock. I have a Gigabyte. They're both known to be good for Hackintosh, so everything should be fine. Now he's booting up in that first partition, and again, it's different here. So I have my cruiser partition 1, and then under it I have another one, and he has somewhat the same thing with that flash drive partition 1, and then the SanDisk under it, I guess, is not the same thing, but he has one that says partition 1, so I'm guessing that's what it is. Let's try this out, partition 1.
And then we'll boot from our USB drive, boot macOS install from.
Okay, so now I've got, okay, so this is the Clover. Awesome, so he has the same thing. I have a newer one. He has the Clover 4910 when he made that. I have a newer version, is the 5070. So, okay, that looks good so far. I'm gonna keep continuing on. Oh, so far so good. I really hope nothing bad happens, knock on wood. So I have come to potentially my first downside right after I said that. And I am waiting on this screen. Now I don't know if this is a time thing or not, because he does edit the videos a little bit. And he has this portion that comes up right after. See how he's got, and then he stops here. And I'm gonna pause in the video. That's where I'm at right now. And then this stuff comes up. And then a second later, you've got the Apple logo. There it is. And then it starts booting up. I am still stuck here. So I'm gonna give this, I guess, more time. I don't really know. If not, then I guess I'm gonna have to troubleshoot something, because I have no idea what's going on. Okay, so it's been about 10 minutes and I am still stuck at this screen. So I went down in the comments of his videos, and someone, actually a few people mentioned it, but one of the people mentioned that they got stuck at the end random seed, and he said to watch his new video, which makes more sense. It's more updated stuff. So I'm gonna go through the new video, re-download this stuff. Hopefully there's, I guess, better links or more updated something. Apparently something changed since then, because there were people that this worked for. So I'm gonna go back through this and reset my computer and try again. So I've gone through the entire setup again with this new video, gotten to this point where again, it boots up, it loads into the Apple icon and it starts booting. And yet again, I am frozen in the same exact spot, even though this was a completely different setup. So I have no idea why, even after a completely new setup, it's not working. I'm gonna, I guess, play around with it a little bit to see if I can change something, but like, I cannot get past this part where he's in here and he gets to this part and then it just boots up and it goes to, eventually goes to the Apple. What the hell? Okay guys, it has been hours and I cannot find anything on YouTube that can help either with the problems I have or really just getting this to work at all with Ryzen. Now, there's a lot of guides, and I know it works a lot easier with Intel, but for me it's not working. I even went online and looked up why it's stopping at that point. People say it's RAM issues, and to go in and change specific setup for that, but that's a completely different setup, and it's not YouTube. So I'm gonna call this as a fail based completely off of just using YouTube videos. And what I'm gonna do is I'm still gonna try to do this, but I'm going to use online forums and basically educate myself on the subject rather than just using YouTube videos and see if I can get it to work myself. Hey guys, thanks for sticking around to the end of the video. If you haven't already, make sure you follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram so you can get some behind the scenes stuff that hasn't happened yet and unreleased content that no one else has seen. And if you haven't already, watch that video. And if you watch that video, watch that video. And if you've watched both of those videos already, make sure you subscribe down here. Yeah, watch this stuff. It's awesome. And if you've watched that and subscribed, I love you.